I made a video recently about Thus Spake Zolani. Let's make another chunklet. Let's talk about Thus Spake Zolani and let's talk about its impact as a film. What it's doing and other films that are, in my mind, trying to do something similar. Let's make a coffee. Oh! Just a good old coffee and milk. There we are. Let's talk about this movie. Obviously, I do stand by all my trigger warnings, but I do think some people kind of read those trigger warnings as that it wasn't a good movie or that it's not a movie worth watching. That couldn't be further from the truth. Thus Spake Zolani is a really interesting film because it exists, I think, in tandem with a lot of other films that are trying to do something very similar. It's trying to provoke a bodily response, either be disgusted by, horrified by, or to cry at the horrors on screen. This is very similar to a lot of other films. The first film that kind of comes to mind, Pasolini's Saló. This is a crazy film. It's banned all over the world and it remains controversial to this day. It shows a very similar amount of kind of torture, violence. Both of these films can both be said to be aesthetically very interesting, often very beautiful. The idea here is to confuse the audience into showing them something that is objectively really horrifying, both on like a societal level and a kind of biological level. We have a very kind of visceral bodily reaction towards the depiction of violence. It takes like horrific acts of human violence, stylizes them in a really interesting way that turns them into a spectacle. That's what Pasolini was trying to do. And I also think Clive is trying to do something similar here. There's a real attention to sort of aesthetic and the medium of film here that I think Clive is getting at. And I think that it kind of exists in the same ballpark WhatsApp group as Saló. It serves as a function outside of just the enjoyment of the movie. It's meant to provoke a response in its audiences. Part of that is not only psychological, but also bodily response, a corporeal response. It's a very effective film in being affectual. This is a big part of cinema studies and film studies. How what we watch on the big screen or on our small screens now can influence not only our psychology, but also quite directly our bodies. Rises in cortisol and blood pressure draw out these responses that are almost out of the control of the person who's watching them. But I also remember being kind of blown away at the aesthetics. Confuse the mind and thinking like, wow, what I'm looking at is really beautiful, but it's also some of the most heinous shit. It shows like a duality and a cognitive dissonance that exists within humans, and the way that we can actually appreciate something while at the same time being completely disgusted by it. The kind of intentional opaqueness here makes it lean more into a video art kind of setting. We should look at this as an experiential piece as much as it is a narrative piece. It is not for the faint of heart and it's not for a casual watch, but it is a very interesting movie, and I think it's a movie that's well worth watching should you have the stomach for it. With that being said, you should get involved.
That was it, baby. Shit.